Hey, good afternoon, y'all. Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram of Blitzball Champ Gaming. So, before I really dive into this video, I just want to say that I am dedicating this video to the unfortunately recent passing of Sabu, hardcore legend Sabu, which I just found out after I got out of church that he has unfortunately passed away. I got the honor and privilege of actually meeting him. I believe it was 1 or 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago via WrestleCade. So I got a chance to meet him, and he recently had his last match in Vegas against Joey Janela. So which really wasn't that long ago. So, just heard the news. Definitely a hardcore legend, somebody that has really been quite a treat to watch, especially ever since I was a kid. And, it just... it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, just, these things catch you off guard, and you just never know. That's why it's important to give people their flowers while you can, and just goes to show you're here today, gone tomorrow. Terrence Michael Brunk. He was 60 years old, and like I said, big presence, I know for me, was of course through ECW and WWE, but he has wrestled some of everywhere. TNA wrestling as well, FMA, which is Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling, Big Japan, All Japan Wrestling, even WCW, New Japan. I mean, he's been all over the place in his career. Has won quite a ton of different titles. I know he, especially when it came to ECW, ECW World Heavyweight Champion twice, was the FTW Heavyweight Champion, ECW World Television Champion, ECW World Tag Team Champion 3 times, once with Taz and twice with Rob Van Dam. Of course, was always a fan of not only when those two went up against each other, but also when they teamed up. Let's see, and just he was a former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion as well. He's done quite a lot. He's done quite a lot in the business. Wish he would have had a title in TNA, but that didn't happen. But I got a chance to meet him a few years ago at WrestleCade. Wasn't much of a talker, but it was still really cool meeting him. But I have to say, I'll definitely miss him. I mean, it was cool that he got a chance to have one last wrestling match not too long ago. But so I just wanted to take this time to just talk about Sabu some, and just dedicate this video to him. And I just wanted to take the time to give a moment of silence and recognize once again the passing of Terrence Michael Brunk, aka Sabu. Rest in peace, Sabu. You will be greatly missed. Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the YouTube the Tube. Once again, I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. A happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, aunts, all of the ladies and mother figures out there. Thank y'all for all that you do, and it's just always special, just something special about a mother's love. It just really goes a long way. A special happy Mother's Day to my mom, Mama Blitzball Champ. Love you so much. But, okay. Wanted to talk about a couple of things and give some more reviews. Want to talk a little bit about Stardom, a little bit about Marigold. A few key things have happened. And then I want to get into some reviews. I want to review 2 shows. Got around to watching New Japan Pro Wrestling's Resurgence. So I want to give a review of that. And I want to give a review of WWE Backlash St. Louis, which I have really strong feelings about. Yeah. But anyways, so to talk a little bit of Stardom first. So, big move happened. So, after Stars teamed up, it was, I believe, 8-woman tag. No, 10. I think it was 10-woman tag. They took on God's Eye at the Corcoran Hall show just the other day. Even though Stars won, afterwards, Hazuki and Koguma of Fukuoka Double Crazy have decided to officially leave Stars. Wow. But can't really say that this is too surprising, especially with the back and forth that Hazuki and Hanan has been dealing with for a while. And, there were hints. There were definitely hints. But now we know it's official. Hazuki and Koguma, Fukuoka Double Crazy, have left Stars. And they had also mentioned that they want to take FWC worldwide. So I think it's safe to say to get ready to start seeing more of FWC in the States, maybe Europe, but definitely outside of Japan going forward. Now, they did emphasize that they're not leaving Stardom. They're not leaving Stardom, but they're pretty much going to go their own path as a team and travel the world. So, don't be surprised if we start seeing them getting bookings. Maybe perhaps they get bookings, in the indies, or maybe we'll see more of them in Spark. I mean, after all, Hazuki is the Spark Joshi World Champion. So, I think it's safe to say we'll see Fukuoka Double Crazy get booked in Spark. Maybe some future New Japan Strong shows. And like I said, hopefully Stardom's a little more open to them getting booked for indies. But we'll see. But with that being said, Stars is now down to just 3 members, with Hanan being the leader, Saya Ida, and the Peach Star Momokogo. That's the only 3 members they're down to. Because remember, Mayu Iwatani left Stardom, went and joined Marigold. So, oof. Now they're pretty much in the same sort of situation Empress Nexus Venus is in. We'll have to see how this goes. Like, honestly, that's pretty big losses, y'all. That's really big losses, especially for stars. I mean, losing, the biggest one in Mayu Iwatani, and then not too long after that, losing Fukuoka Double Crazy. That's a 3-member swing right there. That's crazy. But if anything, I just really wondered now how they're gonna do going forward. Because me personally, I'm not against the idea of Hanan as the leader of stars, but with the strength of the faction now, with just her, Sayaida, and Komomo, it looks very weak and not really a great representation of stars. So, to be honest, maybe it could benefit from a rebranding, kind of similar to what Oedo Tai did when they went from Oedo Tai to Hate. Maybe something like that would be good for stars. Because to be honest with you, stars it's not going to be the same. Especially with no Mayu Iwatani anymore. And Mayu had been with stars like the beginning. I mean, she's the leader. She established stars. So, with her not being there, and now Fukuoka Double Crazy, which is another strong tag team, I mean, that's big. Yeah, I think a rebranding might be the best option for stars, because I hope it goes well. I really do. It's just, stars with just those 3 members, it's rough. It's not rough, or not. I mean that it's not a good look, and it looks rough. So it's a bummer, but I'm not surprised. But hoping for great things for Fukuoka Double Crazy. I don't know if they'll necessarily join another faction or a different faction, but I think they're just gonna do their thing as a tag team for a while. And I guess this puts to rest for now the idea of Hazuki turning on Koguma. Which, that could happen way down the road, but I still think if it does happen, it's going to happen after we've all forgotten about it. When we least expect it. That's what I think. But we'll see what happens, but Fukuoka Double Crazy has left stars. Also, switching gears to Marigold. Sari Yamaoka and Nanae Takahashi, the Marigold Twin Star Champions, have been officially dethroned by the newly goth emo Magenta. That's right, from Marvelous. Magenta dethroned Nanae and Sari to become the new Marigold Twin Star Champions. And honestly, it's not too surprising, considering I figured at some point they were going to get those tag titles off of them, being that Nanae Takahashi is getting ready to have her last match of her career come May 24th at Marigold Shine Forever. So I can understand the move. And it also continues the whole storyline of Marigold versus Marvelous, being that Magenta are from the Marvelous promotion. So I honestly I'm cool with the move. I'm not really a fan of Magenta's new goth look, I'm not really a fan of it. But I am a fan of the tag team. So, them being the new Marigold Twin Star tag champs, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But not feeling that new look. Not feeling that new look. But yeah, so those were two big events that have happened. Now, Sayaka Kurara, I guess to bounce back to Stardom, Sayaka Kurara did cash in on her Cinderella tournament wish, did fight Saya Kamitani for the red belt, unfortunately was not able to win. Looked really strong in the match, but now the record is 0-4. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. 0-4 when it comes to Cinderella tournament winners that have used their wish to challenge for the World of Stardom Championship. It's happened 4 straight times. Twice with Mayu Iwatani. Once with Toni Storm. And just recently with Sayaka Kurara. I don't know, y'all. Might not be a good idea to use your Cinderella wish to go after the red belt. I'm just saying. Maybe that's the curse. Maybe that's the curse. I don't know. Folks seem to have a lot better luck when they wish and challenge for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. So, I don't know. But I think at some point, somebody's gonna break the streak. Somebody's gonna break the curse eventually. But shout outs to Sayaka Kurara. I'm just happy that she didn't use the wish to reverse the decision on like bringing Tam back, or if Saya lost, doing it that way. I'm glad she used the wish on a title shot, like all the other previous winners have done. And that's how it should be. So, I'm cool with it. I am cool with it. Okay. Now that I got that out of the way, let's get some reviews going, shall we? So, first off, gonna review New Japan Pro Wrestling's Resurgence. So, Resurgence took place this past Friday, May 9th, at the Toyota Center in Ontario, California. Overall, I thought it was a good show. Thought it was a very enjoyable show. But yeah, let's go ahead and let me get my graphics up, and we will get started. And I actually took some notes on my phone, so let me get my notes out. Here we go. Alrighty, let's get started. So there were 2 matches on the kickoff. Alrighty. So, first up, we had the Strong Survivor match, a fresh Strong Survivor match, where we had Allan Breeze take on CJ Tino. And like I said, this was a fresh Strong Survivor match due to the fact that Zane J, who won the previous one, relinquished the role to move to Japan to focus on competition in Japan. So now, resets, and we got this opportunity for a new Strong Survivor. Alright, Allan Breeze, CJ Tino. Match lasted 5 minutes, 25 seconds, so not a long match, but I thought it was pretty decent for what it was. But I felt like it was the momentum was mainly on the side of CJ Tino throughout the match. Decent match, an okay finish. CJ was able to get the pin on Allan Breeze with kind of a sunset flip. type of pin for the 1, 2, 3. So CJ Tino is your new strong survivor, and a good sign of sportsmanship after the match. But yeah, CJ Tino now holds the strong survivor title, and we'll see if he can get a win streak going. Matt Vandagriff had a very long streak as the strong survivor, so we'll see what CJ Tino can do. Okay, now next up, I didn't have a graphic for this, but we had a big surprise second kickoff match, as all of a sudden, Bea Priestley, formerly known as Blair Davenport back in the WWE, Bea Priestley comes out, gets on the mic, announces her return as the top gaijin, and pretty much held an open challenge to anybody that wanted to have a match with her. She came out in her wrestling gear. And Viva Van ended up accepting the challenge, and this became the second kickoff match. Bea Priestley, Viva Van. Pretty decent match. Wasn't long, though. 4 minutes, 27 seconds. It wasn't a long match. But it was good seeing Bea Priestley. She was more so of the bully in this match. But, I mean, Viva Van gave some good offense as well. Like I said, just the match was super short. That's all. The match was really, really short. But Bea hits the Plan B on Viva Van and then covers her for the 3 count. And Bea Priestley, what a response from the crowd, but most of all, what an impact made showing up at Resurgence, having a match and winning. And who knows? I think we might be seeing Bea Priestley back in Stardom. I think it's a good chance. You got to remember, this woman was a former Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Champion and a former World of Stardom Champion. So, hey, I'd totally be down for Bea Priestley returning to Stardom. Why not? Although, word is that she would be open to returning to AEW. You know, she had like a little tiny stint. But she did say, word is she did say that she's open to returning to AEW. Which, if that's the case, great. But if you ask me, I think it would be cool to see her return to Stardom. I think she could really benefit from that. But we'll see. We'll see. But her 90 days is up. She's good to go. So, good to see Bea Priestley. Alrighty. And then went into the main card. And I have to say, the first match of the main card started off with a bang. Alright. The main card of Resurgence started off with a singles match between Fred Rosser and the first strong survivor, Matt Vandagriff. This was pretty much a teacher versus student showdown, and it lasted 13 minutes 45 seconds, and I must say it was an incredible match. Very physical between both these competitors. I mean, saw a good bit of high flying from Matt Vandagriff, a lot of strong style from Fred Rosser, and just really the exchanges between both of these competitors. Because, I mean, you have to remember, Fred Rosser is a former NJPW Strong Openweight champion. He was the second ever. So, honestly, this was a good test for Matt Vandagriff, who had that long strong survivor win streak. So, they definitely put on a great opening match for the main card. It did not disappoint. But when it was all said and done, Fred Rosser would get the last laugh and get the better of Matt Vandagriff, getting a submission victory, locking in a crossface chicken wing and submitting Matt Vandagriff for the victory. So, great match between Fred Rosser and Matt Vandagriff, but the teacher prevails. So, but yeah, really, really good match. I was very pleased. Alrighty. Now let's go to our next match. And this next match was the first title match of the card. Check it out. Alrighty. We have the strong Openweight Tag Team Championships on the line, as the champions, the world-class wrecking crew of Jorel Nelson and Royce Isaacs, took on United Empire's Templario and TJP. This was another solid match. Tag team action. This match lasted a little over 13 minutes. The action was awesome. Was definitely back and forth. I love the chemistry with Templario and TJP. They definitely looked on the same page. And, you know, this was a very physical back and forth match where both teams definitely had moments of maintaining the momentum. But, you know, I was really... how can I say this? I was happy, but I was a little bummed with the finish, because it was actually quite shocking. So, just like that, we got a title change. Yep. As Jorel Nelson tried to pin TJP with a small package, Templario came in and moved TJP's leg to switch the leverage to the point where Jorel Nelson's shoulders were pinned. So small package reversal for the 3 count. TJP over Jorel Nelson. And we have new strong openweight tag team champions. Templario, TJP, United Empire. So, world-class wrecking crew loses on the 3rd defense. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Templario and TJP. I met TJP while I was in Vegas, although I have met the world-class wrecking crew through DPW. But my thing is, they didn't have the tag titles that long. I was really hoping they would have those tag titles for a lot longer, because, I mean, world-class wrecking crew had been a tag team for quite a long time, and they really were making waves, or at least I thought, through NJPW Strong. But then again, who knows? They might be, who knows? They might end up moving to Japan, and maybe they'll get put into the mix to challenge for the IWGP Tag Team Championships. That's always a possibility as well. I mean, that would be really cool. But maybe that's what's going to happen with them. Maybe they'll move to Japan and compete in the tag division of New Japan. We'll see. But right now, TJP and Templario are your new strong openweight tag team champions. So, looks like we'll be seeing more of Templario in the States. But yeah, quite a surprise finish. Great match though, but just a very surprising finish. But it's all good. It's all good. All right. Let's go to our next match. And this had quite the reunion. Alrighty, 8-man tag team action. Old school Bullet Club versus new school Bullet Club War Dogs. Yeah. So representing the War Dogs, Gabe Kidd, David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gedo. Representing the old school Bullet Club, you have the Young Bucks of Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson. And the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and the Machine Gun Karl Anderson. Good Brothers back in a New Japan ring. Familiar territory for them as well as the Young Bucks. This was a pretty entertaining match overall. Definitely enjoyed it from start to finish. This match went 13 minutes 39 seconds. But yeah, very enjoyable from start to finish. A great clash between old school and new school Bullet Club. And it did not disappoint. Definitely did not disappoint. When it was all said and done, Karl Anderson got the pin on Gedo after him and Gallows hit their Magic Killer. Hit the Magic Killer. And then the pin for the 3 count. Old school Bullet Club. The Young Bucks and the Good Brothers pick up the victory. They had a moment where the OGs threw up the too sweet sign, but War Dogs threw up their own too sweet and left the ring. So they didn't exactly show the sportsmanship, but I mean, it is what it is. But I do wonder if this means that the Good Brothers are signed back to New Japan Pro Wrestling, perhaps. And maybe they'll head back to Japan. We'll see. But remains to be seen. Alrighty. Let's go to our next match. This was another really solid match. Alright. From the Strong Openweight Tag Titles to now the Strong Openweight Singles Championship. As the champion, the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii, defends against the man that eliminated him from the New Japan Cup, Bullet Club War Dogs member Drilla Moloney. Really happy that they had this run back with the title on the line. And it was pretty solid. This lasted 13 minutes, 39 seconds. But the action was great. I definitely loved as they were exchanging chops and just really just trading offense. And it was hard hitting. And, you know, like I said, Drilla Moloney's really been on the up and coming. And, you know, was a former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champ. So I really love what I saw him do in the junior division, but now looks like he's moved up into that heavyweight class and has been able to hang. He's been able to hang, and it definitely showed in this match. But Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, was able to avenge his loss with a successful defense as he eventually put away Drilla Moloney with the sheer drop brainbuster and pinned him for the 3 count. Tomohiro Ishii, first defense of the Strong Openweight Championship in the books with the win over Drilla Moloney. Can't wait to see who will challenge him next, but a good solid match. This next match was definitely one of my favorite matches of the whole show. Check it out. All right. We had the Never Openweight Championship on the line as the champion, Konosuke Takeshita, defends against El Phantasmo, who's the current NJPW World Television Champion. Okay. This match lasted almost almost 18 minutes. It was 17 minutes 48 seconds, but man, this match was incredible. These two had already faced each other before, and it came down to a draw. It was for the, I believe it was for the NJPW World Television Championship, and the title matches for that, the time limit's 15 minutes. They went to a time limit draw, and this match at Resurgence definitely topped that. I mean, both these guys went at it. The strikes, the knee strikes, the high flying from El Phantasmo, the chops, like, both these guys went at it hard. Now, Takeshita did have Rocky Romero in his corner, and that did play a role. But, oh man. Phantasmo, ELP came very close, but, after hitting the Thunder Kiss 86, it looked like he had it. Ref went for the 3 count. After 2, Rocky Romero pulled out the referee, and El Phantasmo did end up making him pay for it, by putting him through a table. So he took him out, but enough distraction, and Takeshita was able to take advantage and then put away ELP with the Raging Fire, then pinning him for the 3 count. Takeshita still still your never Openweight champion. And even a good sign of sportsmanship from Takeshita to ELP afterwards, despite, the heelish. But then again, that's happened a lot with Takeshita. If you had noticed, even being the heel, even after matches he's had outside of AEW, he'll still shake the hand and show good sportsmanship. It's interesting. Even will vibe and slap hands with the fans. It's crazy. Okay. Now let's go to our next match. All right, this was a rematch for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Although this time, it would be Hirooki Goto, the champion, defending against the challenger, Zack Sabre Jr. Before, last time they faced each other, the roles were reversed, and that was how Goto became champion. But now, here we are back at Resurgence for round 2. Very physical, very back and forth. Definitely enjoyable. Hated the ending. Honestly, I was really not a fan of the ending. So the pin attempt looked almost kind of like a jackknife, like European clutch style type of pin almost. But both Goto and Zack Sabre Jr.'s shoulders were both down, and the ref counted the 3 count, and therefore ended in a double pin draw. Match lasted 17 minutes, 28 seconds, but part of me is bummed with this finish because, they had no problem with Goto pinning Zack Sabre Jr. to win the title, but now in the rematch, this turns into a double pinfall draw. Like, I'm not a fan of that finish. And, Zack Sabre Jr. even showed after the match, like, he hated that finish. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. But it does make me wonder, are we going to see a third title match between Goto and Zack Sabre Jr. at some point? Maybe. But I just hated that it ended in a double pinfall draw. That's just, hated that. Now, technically, that was part 1 of a double main event. Now, let's go to part 2 of double main event. it came down to the NJPW Strong Women's Championship in a triple threat match, as the champion, Mercedes Mone, defended against both Mina Shirakawa and Azumi. And also, I will say, shout out to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I feel like lately, they've done quite a number of NJPW Strong shows in the States where the main event has been the ladies. So, kudos to New Japan for doing that. But, triple threat match here. Match almost went 18 minutes. It was definitely good and enjoyable. Quite a lot of action between all three of these ladies. All three very familiar with each other, so I felt like this definitely showed that. But what I was thinking, especially if Mercedes lost, definitely ended up being what one of my thoughts were. And while it was a great, entertaining match, and I'm sure a lot of people wanted to see Mercedes get pinned, yeah, that didn't happen. It was the high-speed bomb girl, Azumi, that would roll up Mina Shirakawa with an Azumi sushi for the three. And ladies and gentlemen, Azumi is your new NJPW Strong Women's Champion. Which, thought it was quite convenient because the purple belt matches her gear. But, yeah, Azumi. I mean, that says a lot, y'all. Think about it. Hazuki, back in Vegas, won the Spark Joshi World Championship. You know, she hasn't had a singles title in 6 years. And then turn around and Azumi wins the NJPW Strong Women's title. And, you know, she hasn't had a singles title in a hot minute. You know, at least in like a year or two. Because remember, her last singles title was the High Speed Championship. So, it's been a good hot minute. So, I just find it really incredible to see two Stardom talent, just like that, win singles gold in the States. Not too far apart from each other. I'm just saying. It's a big deal. And then backstage promo with Azumi, and Bea Priestley shows up to congratulate her and says that I'll see you very soon. I don't know, y'all. I think Azumi might have her first challenger for that Strong Women's Championship. It looks like it's going to be in the form of Bea Priestley. We'll see. We'll see. But overall, great show. Definitely enjoyed the matches. You know, some of the endings were kind of, what was that? But still overall a good show. And with that being said, we're going to switch gears to another show that, honestly, if you ask me, definitely wasn't as good as Resurgence, that's for sure. Okay. WWE Backlash St. Louis. Took place May 10th. This was at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Only 5 matches. But honestly, yeah, we'll just get into it. Starting off with the first match, we had the WWE United States Championship on the line, as the champion, Jacob Fatu, defended in a fatal 4-way against LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest. LA Knight came out swinging pretty early in this match. But overall, it was a pretty decent match. Went 18 minutes 14 seconds. I just hope that Drew McIntyre was okay because he took a South of Heaven chokeslam outside through a table from off like stage in the crowd or something like that. But yeah, the way he landed and hit his head, oof. But I think Triple H confirmed in the post conference that Drew is okay, but that did look pretty sick. But yeah, the action was great between all four competitors, and when it seemed like LA Knight was in control and was getting ready to dive off the turnbuckle onto Jacob Fatu or whatnot, Solo Sikoa pulls him away, and it looked like Solo was about to get dealt with for interfering, and then all of a sudden Jeff Cobb shows up, or actually I think it was Damian Priest that was on the outside. Now that I think about it, it was Damian Priest on the outside. Jeff Cobb appears from ringside, from the crowd in ringside, and just starts taking folks out. Even the camera's kind of zoomed in on him and whatnot. And Solo Sikoa, directing traffic. And yeah, pretty much him and Solo take out the rest of the competition to the point where all that was really left was LA Knight in the ring. Jacob Fatu looked confused seeing Solo Sikoa and Jeff Cobb take folks out and kind of leaving it up to Jacob Fatu to finish it off. And that he did. He picked up the pieces of what was left of LA Knight, took him out, and then pinned him for the 1-2-3 to retain the WWE United States Championship. Well, it looks like Jeff Cobb has aligned himself with Solo Sikoa. Not too sure how Jacob Fatu feels about that, because it looked like he was kind of having some mixed emotions or mixed feelings. But welcome to the WWE, Jeff Cobb. Cheers. The surprise wasn't that much impactful. I don't think it was that big of an impact, but, he was pretty much on the way. It was just a matter of time, and sure enough, Backlash. So, all cool. Okay, let's go to our next match. Featuring the ladies. Alrighty. We had the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship on the line as the champion, Lyra Valkyria, defended against Becky Lynch. So, both these ladies meet again. They've been in this situation before. Back in NXT, it was for the NXT Women's Championship. And now here they are fighting for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Match went almost 19 minutes. Went just about 18 minutes, 43 seconds. Both these ladies have great chemistry in the ring against each other, as well as teaming up. Match didn't disappoint. Definitely did not disappoint. I felt like the finish could have been better. And even what happened afterwards could have been better. But Lyra was able to get the best of Becky Lynch and roll her up for the pin. And got the 3 count. Lyra's still your champ. And then pretty much right afterwards, Becky started beating her down. Which, honestly, I don't think she really did a good job of really beating her down. Because afterwards, it was like Lyra just, later got up and was able to walk out. But I think word was that she got a broken nose or whatnot. And shout out to her fiance, LJ Cleary, who was in the crowd ringside. Becky kind of taunted him while she was beating up on Lyra. So, shout out to LJ Cleary. Got to see him a number of times when he was part of the Good Looking Guys back in Pro Wrestling Noah. But Lyra is now 2-0 in singles matches against Becky Lynch. So, I don't know, y'all. It looks like Becky might have found her kryptonite in Lyra, fellow Irish woman Lyra Valkyria. So, I'm just saying. But it was a good match. Just wish the finish was better. Alrighty, let's go to this next match. And this is where it starts going down south. Alright, we now have the WWE Intercontinental Championship on the line. As a champion, Dirty Dominant Mysterio defended against Penta. This match wasn't too long. It was actually ended up being under 10 minutes. 9 minutes 17 seconds. It was the shortest match of the card. What really annoyed me though was that you had the other members of Judgment Day coming out to help. I mean, Carlito, JD, Finn, and even despite all of that, when it really came down to it, it took El Grande Americano to interfere. That would end up costing Penta. That happened. Dirty Dom took advantage, hit a frog splash, and got the pin. And just once again, I really hate this whole El Grande Americano angle. I really do. I think it's so dumb. Not to mention with folks calling out Chad Gable on commentary, it's like, come on now, y'all. Y'all don't even make an effort to try to hide it. That should say something. They don't even make an effort on commentary to try to hide it. So it's just, I don't know, it just annoys me, this whole El Grande Americano gimmick crap. It annoys me. But match was meh. Alright. Let's go to our next match. Alrighty, we had a singles match between Pat McAfee and Gunther. Match lasted a little over 14 minutes, but you know what? I gotta give Pat McAfee credit. He took quite a beating from Gunther, but kept coming back, and I'm just glad this match wasn't a squash. I'm just glad it wasn't a squash. Pat McAfee at least looked formidable. And even with, a few assists from Michael Cole, I felt like he definitely looked good in this match against Gunther. I mean, because remember, we're talking about somebody that was a former WWE World Champion. So. But, like I said in the preview video, I highly doubted that Gunther was going to lose 2 back-to-back PLEs, especially with one of them being WrestleMania. So, I figured he was still going to get the victory. Was able to submit Pat McAfee with a sleeper hold with a body scissors. It took a while, but finally got him to pass out. Gunther is your winner. And, a pretty decent sign of sportsmanship after the match from Gunther to Pat McAfee. you know? I mean, they didn't shake hands or anything, but Gunther kind of gave that gesture of, hey, you know, you went to war with me. You look good. I respect you. Sort of thing. You know what I mean? But, yeah. Interesting. Interesting. And then the main event of Backlash St. Louis came down to this hoopla. For one last time, John Cena versus Randy Orton, undisputed WWE Championship on the line. So this match lasted 27 minutes, 49 seconds. And I mean, here's the problem that I have with this match. So, you know, the match was pretty action. Well, no, I won't say super action-packed. But, you know, it went the distance. It definitely went the distance. Here's my issue. I have a few issues with this. Number one, okay, we need to chill on the number of people kicking out of finishers. Like, one time is fine. But when it's getting to 2, 3, 4 times that folks are kicking out of finishers, it's stupid. Not to mention, like, honestly, I would rather a match not have more than 3 finishers take place, whether it's all by the same or between the 2 or however many competitors. But in this match, there was like 6 attitude adjustments and like 8 RKOs. Like, even with all the interference and what, it's like, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. And, you know, been seeing more matches lately where people are kicking out of finishers like 2, sometimes even 3 times. And it's ridiculous. And then, another thing I don't understand. Okay, explain something to me. When a referee gets taken out, and you clearly can see they're not moving. They're not going to move anytime soon. They're out. They're out. So, why doesn't the logic ever hit where they need to be like, hey, the ref is down. We should probably go ahead and send in another ref right now instead of waiting for a pinfall attempt or a submission attempt. Like, that first referee was out for at least 7, 8 minutes. Because remember, they had the action outside the ring and all that. That ref was out at least 7, 8 minutes. And then when they got back in the ring for a pin attempt, now that's when they decide to send a referee down? Like, that's stupid. That's stupid. If a ref gets taken out, where does the logic kick in? Oh, I should probably send out another ref right now so that they'll be ready to make the count when the next pin attempt happens. Like, it's dumb where it's that big of a gap that they just wait for somebody to make a pin attempt before they finally send out another ref. It's stupid. It's stupid logic. And then that ref got taken out. And then it's like, dang, I know y'all got more than 2 refs. Like, come on. This is where the booking just gets ridiculous. And then Nick Aldis comes in and the rest of, like, the staff and everything. And then they all suffer RKOs. And then R-Truth comes in to try to get in Randy Orton's way, to try to cover and have the back of John Cena. He eats an RKO. Cena takes advantage of the distraction. Low blow. Belt shot. And then that same referee that was down for like 8 plus, now like 15 plus minutes, finally now climbs back into the ring and makes the 3 count. Cena retains. Just stupid, man. This is really stupid. That was dumb. Really, really dumb. Like, it was overbooked like crazy. Crazy how badly this was overbooked. And it just really... It just kind of damaged the fun of Backlash for me. It just... Yeah. That really ruined it for me, to be honest with you. It was just ridiculous. Yeah. Ridiculous. But that's really all that I got on this. Just, yeah. And then what makes it even funnier, at the post press conference, John Cena gives R-Truth an attitude adjustment through the table. Now are you still going to keep defending him, R-Truth? It's like, wake up, dude. But, anyway. That's all I got. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. First off, let me know how y'all feel about Fukuoka Double Crazy leaving Stars, and what do you think is next for them? How do y'all feel about Magenta becoming the new Marigold Twin Star Tag Champs? Let me know what you thought of NJPW Resurgence. And let me know what you thought of WWE Backlash St. Louis. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and next video I do, I'll review Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling's Northern Rising, and we'll go over the current standings of the Best of Super Juniors 32. So look forward to that when I get around to it. Thank y'all so much for another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the 2. My name is Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed Mother's Day, and I will see y'all in the next video and our live stream. Peace.